You've got Georgia, of course, winning the SEC East, Tennessee in second, Florida tied in second with them, Kentucky in fourth, South Carolina in fifth, Mizzou in sixth, and Vandy in seventh. I'll give you the floor first. On the East, I think it's pretty simple. Georgia is the cream of the crop. You think Tennessee, though, is going to be the team that challenges the Dogs? Just give me a breakdown, a quick synopsis of your East predictions for the upcoming season.
Yeah, and to me, Georgia's the clear-cut favorite. I know they lost a lot on defense, only 3 starters coming back, but they play a lot of players. They're loaded in talent. Jalen Carter at the nose guard spot, Nolan Smith at the defensive end, Keely Ringo at the cornerback spot. I have them favored in all 12 games by double digits. So I think Georgia's your clear-cut winner. If anybody's going to challenge, I think Tennessee might be that team. Very potent offense coming into the year. Hendon Hooker's back. They averaged 39.1 points per game last year, and they're even stronger. Defensively, all 3 units rank in my top units, and they have a strong special teams, which I rate number 10. I only have them a dog at Pitt, home to Alabama, and at Georgia. If they were to steal that Georgia game, they'd have a chance. Florida, I think, will be much improved under Billy Napier. Florida was a team that I think they had lost them last year at the end of the year. And Napier's going to step in, new attitude. He's got a tremendous quarterback in Anthony Richardson. Kentucky, they're always better than the sum of their parts. I think when you take a look at them this year, though, they do have Will Levis. They do have Christopher Rodriguez. They've got a more favorable schedule than does South Carolina, which is why I picked them ahead of South Carolina in the standings. But I think South Carolina could be the better football team. And then Missouri, there's question marks on defense, question marks at the quarterback position, but no question marks at receiver. I like Luther Burden. I think he's going to be one of the big time newcomers in the SEC, but I think Missouri is going to be hard pressed to get to a bowl. And then Vanderbilt, talking to Coach Lee, I'm impressed. I think he's going to get Vanderbilt playing much better football. It's the toughest situation in football, being the academic school that they are and competing in the SEC. They'll be better, but I'm going to pick them last in the East this year.
And in the West, Phil, you have Alabama, of course, winning the SEC West, Texas A&M in second, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Auburn tied for third, Mississippi State sixth, and then LSU also tied for sixth as well. Of course, no surprise to have Bama. Can Texas A&M challenge the Crimson Tide after hauling in their $30 million recruiting class? Is it possible Jimbo gets the Aggies to the next level?
This is a talented Texas A&M team. And the one thing, though, when I was going over the team with Coach Fisher, was it seemed like at the end of every position, he would say, boy, are we going to be good next year? And you could see it. They're just young at a lot of positions. They lost basically the entire defensive line. They lost a lot of linebackers, lost a lot in a lot of different areas on the team. They have talent, though. I mean, he's got 5, not just last year, but 5 great recruiting classes. So they go 3 deep at all the spots. One reason I'm not as high in A&M winning the West this year would be the fact they have to play at Alabama, but they could very well be favored in all their other games. So I think A&M's got the talent to hang with Alabama, but beating them at Alabama on the road with revenge, I think is going to be a pretty tough situation. I am very high on A&M for next year, but they are a talented team that can stand toe-to-toe with Alabama.
And then the rest of your SEC West picks, obviously, Phil, again, Bama's the clear cut. I think we all expect Bama, Georgia, but going through the list, the Gamecocks actually have to play the Arkansas Razorbacks, who, again, you have tied for third. Then just going through the rest of your SEC West picks, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and Chris, it was tough. I'll tell you what, I do the magazine in a 3 write-through process. The first one is a postseason write-through where I read through every article that was written about the team during the course of the season, really get myself in tune with what happened and what to look forward to. The second write-through is a pre-spring where we add in the freshmen and the transfers. And then the third write-through is after I talked to the head coaches. And after my second write-through process, I went, okay, number 1, Alabama, number 2, Texas A&M, then a 5-way tie for third. I mean, I just couldn't pick who's going to be third and who's going to be last. And at the end, it was still tough. I'm like, I can't pick a 5-way tie for third. I gotta pick somebody sixth. I picked Mississippi State sixth because they have the toughest schedule, although arguably they could be the most talented of the 5. I've got LSU sixth because they're going through a transition with Brian Kelly. They only have 11 returning starters. They also play a tough schedule this year, which I rate number 6 in the country. And then the middle of the pack, Arkansas, Sam Pittman has overachieved each of his 2 years. He's got a very talented quarterback in KJ Jefferson, a very talented team overall. Ole Miss, I originally was thinking of putting them lower, but then you look at their first 7 games: Troy, Central Arkansas, at Georgia Tech, Tulsa, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, home against Auburn. They could be 7-0 when they travel to face LSU. And Lane Kiffin was the king of the transfer portal. That could get them off to a good start. But the one team I do want to emphasize is Auburn. I think Auburn's going to be picked last in the SEC West this year. Everybody's talking about all these players jumping ship for Auburn and what a bad sign that is for Brian Harsin. I've been doing this for 28 years now, and I can tell you this. A lot of times when a lot of players jump ship, that means that the coach is getting rid of the bad apples. And what's left are players that are bought in. And I think we have that with this year's Auburn team. Keep in mind, at one point last year, they were 6-2. They should have beaten Alabama, and they have a lot of talent coming back. If they get good quarterback play out of either Zach Calzada or TJ Finley, I think Auburn's going to surprise a lot of folks this year.